let's try again. Oh, okay. Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee. Just going to refresh this here. I'm just doing a refresh because I want to make sure it's working. Oh, here we go. Okay, just a minute. Oh, you're going to listen to my stuff. Just a minute. Gotta do some sound checking here. Oh, good. It's working. Yay. All right. Sorry about that. I did have a different link here this morning. It is our last. I might have to put a hat on because I cannot stand this hair stuff. It's like I look like a rooster. Yeah, a little roosterish. I've been trying to figure things out in my new space with the Sunday Morning Coffee stuff. So sometimes it's been live stream and sometimes it's been, oh God, it's way too puffy. I cannot handle it. It's been live stream and sometimes I've just done some recordings for you because I want to make sure I don't miss them, but I also am trying to figure this out here. All right, so we're going to have a conversation about core today. Oh, geez. I know it's kind of early. It's like 9 a.m. my time, Central Time, which feels early on a Sunday for some reason. Why? I don't know. Maybe because I've had an exciting weekend. So we'll have a little conversation about that. How about that? But the good news is, woke up sexy as hell again. Aside from this fluffy, puffy hair. Oh, I'm getting my hair cut this week, you guys. Next time you see me, I have no idea what my hair is going to look like. We'll find out. I'll just go with it. I might shave it. I don't know what the heck. Okay, you guys don't come here to listen to me talk about my hair, but I'm just trying to figure life out here. Okay. Hi, nice to see you in the chat. I have my laptop right here, so. Good morning. Hey, Majestic. Nice to see you. All right, so thank you. I don't feel fabulous right now. I'm tired. I've had a great weekend, so I'm going to chat a little bit with you and then we'll focus in on our topic of core. Now the core, the energy of the core is literally coming from my core this morning because I can feel it. I can feel these abs. And I'm like, ooh, I do have abs. That's great. Forgot that I had them actually until Friday night this week. So I'm going to tell you, I've been trying to force myself to show up for things, to try things when I commit to something and I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. It sounds great. Like something new and different instead of like being a big chicken about it and not going. I'm just showing up and I'm going and I'm seeing what it's about. So Friday night, I went to a boxing club. I know. So I work with somebody at the community center who her whole family is in boxing and she's the youngest of I think four. And her older brothers are in boxing and so they've traveled around and done boxing events and tournaments and all that kind of stuff. And so she wanted to create something for women. And so she started a women's boxing group and it's Friday night, Saturday morning, Sunday morning. It's like the weekend and it's like training. It's really like she described it and she was so accurate when she described it as like a CrossFit kind of a scenario where you do a lot of interval stuff, you know, sit-ups, push-ups, all these things combined with like these boxing movements, which I've never boxed, you guys. I've never boxed before. I don't even know, like all I know is what you see on television and what you like instinctively want to do. Instinctively want to do with your hands, you know? And so I'm like, okay. And let me just be clear, like I was clearly the eldest there. Everybody was like in their mid to upper 20s and stuff. I think there was one woman who was like 30, maybe 32. And, she was great. She was my partner. So, when you had to do things together, like you do like a push-ups and then you'd like slap each other's hands and stuff. And then you'd have to stand on each other's feet when you're doing these other things. Oh my God, you guys. I thought, okay, it's been a while since I've done any kind of ab or core work in your body, the center core of your body, right? Like all the muscles in your belly and your center of your stomach and your sides and in your back too. And so it's really good for your back, right? Because you strengthen your core, then your back, not as many injuries, all that kind of stuff, right? Your posture is better and everything. And it's been a long time since I've done that because I haven't really done yoga very religiously since probably January this year. It's been a long time, like 6 months. I mean, I've done some yoga, but not like the strength training kind of stuff. And so I get in there and I'm like, I have abs. I can do these things where we're laying down on the ground and you put your legs straight out and you hover them. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. I could barely do that. And then we did this thing where because you have to do footwork and stuff. So you run around the ring, the outside of the ring, and you do this footwork stuff and you do these different things. Oh my God, it was so fun. And they did this thing where I'm laying on my back and I'm like, oh my God. And then you cross your legs like this and you have to hold them, hold them, hold them. I was like, I am going to die. I had no strength in my core. So I thought this is a good Sunday morning coffee topic. Core, for sure, because you take for granted what you've had. You've built something and then you just expect it's going to be there, those muscles. No. We need to pay attention and give attention to ourselves if we want to stay healthy, whatever that is for you. If that's your mental health stuff, if that's keeping your mind sharp, reading books, educating yourself, pushing yourself a little bit, whether that's exercise or activity, whatever that looks like for you. Eating, maybe it's a certain style of eating or eating a little bit healthier. I'm not talking anything massive, you guys. I'm talking just basics here. Basics. Paying attention to ourselves and our bodies is extremely important, and what helps our bodies, our engines run, right? What is at the core of us? At the core of us is our engine room. It gets us moving. And I cannot explain to you how much the fire in my belly was just poof. After that experience. I was just filled with, I was dripping sweat. It was super hot anyway. It was 90 degrees and it was this big warehouse thing and the doors were wide open and then we were outside and then we were inside and we were running around the ring, doing all the little exercises and stuff. And it was freaking hot and it was amazing. I was just drenched in sweat in my head and I brought a towel because I knew it was going to be hot and I brought my water and all that stuff. I was like, oh my God. It was amazing. I felt I haven't felt like that since college. I haven't had that good of a workout since probably college. I'm serious. It really, the endorphins were whoa, but it was in my core. I felt it in my sacral chakra. I felt this oh my God, motivation. I was this is the best experience I've ever had. Because she's like, how you doing? Are you doing okay? How you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm coming back. I'm signing up. I'm coming back. I knew I wouldn't be able to go back on Saturday or Sunday. No fucking way. Because I knew I was going to need a couple days to recover. I didn't feel my physical body just felt high and great and awesome. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about my meniscus in my right knee or my weird shoulder thing I have in the back. And, I just was aware when I was doing things to modify if I needed to. But once I got those boxing gloves on, I'm going to buy boxing gloves today, by the way. I got to buy gloves. And you get 2 sets. There's a set underneath that you do or a wrap thing. And then you get gloves. I'm like, oh, I can't not tell you what happened to me when I put on these boxing gloves. I was like, oh, wow. Because as a healer doing healing work, it's people focus on our hands, right? You even see, if you watch TikTok or whatever, people are on there going like this. How dramatic am I? It's funny, right? But they're like, okay, I'm not saying it doesn't work. Distance healing works, but hands for healers. I'm I told I told Lorena, I said, when I come to the class, I said, I'm going to modify as needed. And, but I'm going to show up. And I did. I wasn't going to though, because it was like pouring rain and thunderstorming before that because it was so humid. We had like rain move through, and I was like laying in my bed going, do I really want to go? I don't really want to go. I'm like, no, go, show up. I'm like, nope, I'm just going to go. I just said go. And I jumped out. I just got out of the bed and I put on my exercise stuff and I out the door. Like I just went. I didn't think too much about it. I just did it. So glad I did. But I told her, I said, I'm going to modify as needed and that kind of thing. And she said, I said, I am not going to hit anybody and I don't want to be hit. Okay? But like, those are my boundaries. I have boundaries. I want to participate and here are my boundaries. I'm not going to just conform and do whatever. No. But I'm not going to be a jerk. I'm not going to be resistant. I'm going to try stuff. But I'm not going to hit anybody, any person, and I'm not going to get hit by any person. Okay? Like that was my rule for the first experience I had there, right? And she was totally fine. She was like, all right. She's like, yep, nope, don't worry about it. That's not going to happen. You're good. It's more like a CrossFit. Don't worry about it. I'm like, CrossFit? I don't even like CrossFit. I never wanted to do CrossFit. Are you crazy? That's insane stuff. I don't want to do that. No. So I got these gloves on and I was like, oh. And now I was getting prepped before that because we were doing these things where we were like, and our stances as we were walking and then running and then stopping and then doing these stances and then walking and then doing these stances and practicing like the jabs and stuff and then the cross and the whatever, kind of thing. And I'm like, I just jumped right in and did it. And when I got the gloves on, I was like, oh. She's like, pick a bag. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, wait, what do I do now? I'm like thinking, oh my God. And I'm watching the people next to me just bam, 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 and I'm like, okay. And she's like, all right, here's what I want you to do. And then she called out like the combination. And so I'm just doing it. And she came over to me and she goes, okay, and this is how you hit. This is where you hit. This is it. And she just told me like in 2 seconds. And I'm like, okay. So she held the bag and I just did it. And she's like, oh, she's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm a natural. She's like, yeah. And I was just like, oh my God, I was so into it. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life. And it wasn't like this, I thought it was like this violence thing, this fighting thing, but I have the energy of this, I have this warrior energy, right? Joan of Arc, a fierce advocate for your spirit, to encourage you, to empower you to have your power. And so for me, I was like, my core was activated. I worked on my core and these muscles and all this energy came up and through, and it wasn't anger. It wasn't frustration. It was power. It was sheer power and movement and fluidity. And it was just this like motion. And then it was in my heart and it was like, so, oh my God. I don't want to say it was tantric, but it was it was very, I was like, whoa. Oh my God, I was so just high after. I felt so good. I'm like, I'm coming back. So every Friday I'm going to try to do this. And then after I kind of get used to it, I might try to do it Fridays and Mondays, or Fridays and Sundays. We'll see. I think I need a day in between to kind of rest my body a little bit until I get used to the interval training part of it. But it's cool because my stomach, I can feel the muscles. I'm like, sweet, and walking up and down the stairs here in the townhouse, there's like 3 long flights of stairs. I'm like, oh, I could feel it in my legs, and I'm like, sweet, feels good. So let's talk about your core. Let's talk about your core. What is at the core of you? Where is your strength? When we talk about inner strength, think about the body and the core of the body. Like I said, the stomach. And this is where your solar plexus is, your spirit chakra, right? This is where your gut intuition is, your instinct is. And then your back. So who's got your back? Do you see what I'm saying? You got to have the front and the back. And the back isn't just about the past. The back is about your strength. The back is where you're going to shore up your core. It's like the practices we've used here on Above Life channel. And we've talked about it on Sunday Morning Coffee before, where I've said use 4 pillars. Do you remember that? If you missed that episode of Sunday Morning Coffee, go back and listen when I call in the energy of the 4 pillars of light. And I basically did like a kind of a little bit of an inspiring kind of psychic experience vibe. I kind of did that for you guys here. That was a couple of weeks ago. So check that out, because it will give you this understanding of what I say when I say the core. So picture 2 like pillars or poles in front of you and 2 pillars or poles behind you, and create that however it fits for you and feels safe and structured and solid. So the poles go into the earth and connect to the earth. It might be trees. You might be picturing trees in front of you and trees behind you, but close, because the idea is your etheric field, which is like maybe 6 inches from your body, is to be able to touch that space. And then your auric field encompasses and enfolds them. So it creates the sacred structure within you. And again, it could be anything. Picture 4 poles. It could just be metal poles, like at a playground. It could be, you might like something more fluid. Maybe you don't like this idea of something really that you can hang on to or touch. Maybe you're like, oh, that makes me feel too caged in or constricted. Then what you do is you picture just beams of light, like little flashlights from the earth, like a circular light in the earth, like a flashlight beaming up in the front and beaming up in the back, but close to your body, okay? Instead of the 4 pillars being in our room or being in our space and channeling angels or spirit guides, I'm telling you, for this core exercise, we're going to 2 pillars in the front, 2 pillars in the back. They can be white, like beautiful Roman Greek architecture pillars, or it can be just a little like at the edges of a pergola. Like if you're sitting outside right now and you're like by a deck or a porch or patio and you just have big cedar kind of beams like that, just that. Whatever yours is, it can be anything you want. It could just be light. So I want you to feel into that for a moment, to your core, and I want you to connect to that. Can you do that? And I want you to, if for those of you who are watching live stream, or if you're watching after, put it in the comments what your pillars are, those 4 that are creating a structure for your core. These are for your core structure, okay? Because you need that. It's going to ground you into the earth and connect you etherically then to spirit, to that cosmic consciousness, to that wisdom, okay? So to whoever your guides are, to God, to your angels, to your totem animals, to the elements, whatever yours is, okay? It'll connect on the top, okay? So go ahead and do that. Set that up. I'm going to feel into what mine are. Like they could be like, seriously, you know what I'm seeing right now? This is my team. Okay, my spirit team is so funny. This is what they're showing me. Hey, Patty, nice to see you, Maud. Good morning. I just saw Patty pop in the chat, so I had to say hello. I see pool noodles as mine. So my pillars, the 2 in the front, the 2 in the back, are like pool noodles. One of them's like a lime green, one of them's a hot pink, one of them's a yellow, and one of them's an orange. Oh, when I laugh, it really hurts my lower stomach. In a good way. In a good way. Like I feel my muscles, my core activated when I giggle. All right, so that's what I see. Mine are pool noodles. What are yours? Come on, you guys. I want to see that. I want to hear that. I know Sunday morning coffee, very interactive when we do live streams, isn't it? That water element must be active. Yes. Queen. Hey, Queen, by the way. Nice to see you. Hi, Mary Beth. Nice to see you too. I'm glad you're here live. That's great. Yay. Oh, white pillars. Yeah, beautiful. I'm not surprised, Queen. I'm not surprised. That very Oracle of Delphi vibe going on there. That very Greek vibe there. Yeah, for you. I can see that for sure. So core, what is that? Your core. Now, your pillars, your stabilizations here. These grounding beams for you, they can change and morph. You can use they could be any different kinds of types or waves or trees or light or whatever at any time. So if you feel this need to get really stabilized, ask for the connection to your core in this way and ask for them to be close to you, okay? I think mine are pool noodles because they're soft right now. And the bumping into them and stuff is okay because I'm pushing myself, I'm expanding myself out a little bit from this like almost hidden part of me, this hidden little smaller self part of me. And so I'm bumping into these and it needs to be safe for me, it needs to kind of help me float and buoy me a little bit. So that's what the symbolism of mine feels like for me. So, oh, thank you. Yeah, it's nice to see you too. Yeah, so I also love the idea of these being trees too. That would be really nice. And for me, of course, they'd be beautiful birch trees. I love the birch trees. So, symbolizing the beginnings, right? The beginning of things. So core, let's talk about core. So I'm going to give you another. So that simple, just that, is to connect us in, to create a safe and sacred space for us as we're having our conversation today. So in the core of you, the core part of you, the core grounded, centered base, foundation of you, just in that sweet space, that sacred, very deeply sacred part of you, that space inside you. When you breathe in, let that energy come forward a bit, to come into the structure, to come into these beautiful vibrating beams of energy, to your pillars that are creating the honoring of the structure of you, representing and symbolizing your core, the validity of your presence, of your existence here in this timeline on Earth now, because that's really important for us to acknowledge, especially this week, especially during this time of the ending of July and the stepping into August. August 1st, just Tuesday, we have a full moon, so we have some energy coming in here. If you follow anything as far as astrology goes, there's a lot of stuff active and activated. There's a lot of the whole Venus thing coming in, or that's been here, is bringing up some things. And so when you feel in, just to you, the purity of you, nobody else is there. No one. It's just you. It's the layers of you. And when you establish the structure of the core of you, these two beams in the front, these two pillars in the back, it's not constriction or confining. It's safety. It's the places where you hang on and where you can lean back and you bump into yourself. You're held by yourself. You're in a safe relationship and environment because of you, because of who you are, because of energy of you at your core, not what you've done, not your past behaviors, not other people, not anybody else's identity on you or projections on you, and not even your own crap, but just the pure energy sense of you, forward and back, creating a core resonance. Just breathe that and be that. So that your solar plexus is activated, your belly, your spirit chakra, your heart chakra as well. Let it be in this sacred space. Let it be. Nobody's in control. The essence of you is just present. It's not, what am I doing? What am I supposed to be picturing? What am I supposed, no. Just honoring the energy of your solar plexus, your spirit, and your heart chakra. And then deep into the hips, to that engine room, to that beautiful root in the back of your body, at your sacrum, the base of your spine, that tailbone dropping down, pointing that tail into the earth, just pointing it into the earth, honoring and acknowledging the human that you are, the body that you are, the presence that you are, and bringing that energy down into the earth. Not to keep you stuck, but to recognize in this moment, in this moment, you're here. You are right here. Your core is connected. You are alive. You are well. Wellness is not a judgment. It's a feeling. Isn't it crazy? Like, we have done so much, I think, as a society to try to initiate change and to control through results the outcomes of things, like the way our body looks, the way our face looks, the way we gain or build on our knowledge, like in our coursework, like in school or in a certificate program or that kind of thing. There's always like this, there's this process laid out, and then there's this achievement or result or outcome, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, we quantify lots of things, right? But when it comes to energy, like this term wellness, being well, and the term core isn't about how strong you are necessarily in your body. And wellness isn't about how mentally stable you are or how quick-witted you are, or how much you have to be able, how fast you are at processing things, how good you are with numbers, how great you are with people. That's not what well is. Wellness, we've commodified it. We've qualified it by quantifying it. And so I'm not saying that that doesn't have a space. It's good to have information, but that's one tiny piece of the big picture of who you are. Breathe in, feel your core, and be well. Breathe in, feel your core, and be well. Feel your back. Like, got your own back? You got your back? I think we're so afraid. Like, I know for me personally, I'm like afraid to feel my back sometimes because I feel like it's the past. The back is the past, right? But my back is me. It's part of who I am. It's here and now. I just can't see it, but I can sense it and feel it. So too can you. It's part of who you are. It's part of your core. It's part of your wellness. It's part of being well. Okay, so I have a couple things coming through that I'd like to share for extracurricular activities that you might want to do or try to connect into your core to give yourself grounding and centered energy. One is to take the word, oh, let me grab, I have a show and tell just a minute. Just a minute, I got a show and tell. Listen to my body all cracking. Can you hear that? It's like my knees are cracking. I'm popping. I'm crackle, snap, crackle, pop. Just call me Rice Krispies. Okay, I got this beautiful, so yesterday on Saturday, I actually went to my friend's farm. She invited me out to her farm, Frequency Farm. It was amazing. And got to see the horses and chickens, and I got fresh eggs. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for them. I got to meet the chickens that laid the eggs. It was awesome. They're really cool too. They're like free range chicken vibes. And there's a ton of little kittens too. And I'm like, oh, I'm a little allergic, but they were sweet, you know? So I got this on the way. I went to Barnes & Noble, which I love the bookstore, right? And I bought this. I've been eyeing this before. I've eyed this and I decided to buy it. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my goodness. I just love it. Okay, so I'm going to use this. It just smells so good. You know, a new journal just has that, that sweet page. Oh, yeah, feel that? Oh my gosh. I'm such a nerd. Okay, so we're going to take our pen and we are going to use on a notebook or notepad or scratch paper, whatever. We're going to write the word core and we're going to write it going down the page. Now, I don't stay in the lines, but you're going to write it like this, going straight down the page. And for each of the letters, this is an exercise I've used with coaching clients forever. I call it word power because I love words. They're vibrational, they have such meaning, and they connect our brain to our energy. So it's a really great way to include the mind in our healing process, okay? So core. So we're going to take this, and you notice there's 4 of them. 4 letters, C-O-R-E. So in the front, C and the O are the front 2 of our pillars, and R and the E are the back 2 of our pillars. So right here, right now, facing you, what you are facing, what is in front of you, I want you to feel into that energy. And the first word that is a letter C that comes in is what you write down. So for me, it's like cake. She's going to have her cake and eat it too? Yes, she is. Oh, yes, she is. This is what my team does for me. Okay, cake is my word for that. Yeah, for one of my pillars. And the oh, I'm gonna say origin, even though I might want to say something else. I think I want to say something else. Okay, I'm just gonna write that down. So cake and origin are mine. So what are yours? The first two that come up, C and O. And it might be an animal, like C might be cat. O might be, I don't know, ocean. It could be that too, okay? It could be thing or whatever. So this is the energy of what my pillars are helping to support me with in this moment. So to me, this is very sensual, very yummy energy, very savoring enjoyment of life. And that's exactly what I've done this weekend. I've put myself out there. I drove to a freaking farm that's like an hour and 15 minutes away, whatever. And I hung out the whole day and we had so much. It was just so cool. I was outside. I mean, she does yoga on her farm. And so there was big, beautiful carpets and oh my God, and the horses were amazing. And I'm like, oh my God, it was so great. And then we all went out to dinner, went out to lunch. It was so fun. I mean, it was so beautiful. It was just a really cool experience. And that was coming out of and it was so peaceful and calm, which was so dramatically different than boxing the night before, which was like, woohoo, But I was up to do this and had the energy to do this because I had activated my core. And I had allowed the energy within me to just move forward and move around me and just like spiraling, figure eighting, Shakti moving up my body, just very primal goddess energy, which is exactly the frequency that I'm in right now and the work that I do in the Divine Feminine in my groups that I'm in. Not the ones that I facilitate, but the ones that I attend, the one that I'm attending is very primal right now, so it makes sense. So C and the O are in the front. Whatever yours are, it could be orange, like a color. It could be that, okay? Then the two in the back, what are the two in the back? Oh, interesting. So my R is rear. So rear, R-E-A-R, but has multiple meanings, right? So like child rearing, like raising of, right? Raising up. Or rear, like behind, right? Or like kick you in the rear kind of thing, like my butt, right? Like kick me in my butt. Like don't sit on your butt, get moving or allow yourself to be moved, to move. It's okay. And that energy of that is also a grounding energy for me. And then the next word that I get with my other pillar is expert. And I'm like, expert? So maybe the message then, okay, I got it. The message for me is that what I've experienced in life up to this point, especially the last 2 years of like insane intensity, dark night of the soul vibes, because it has been, let me just say, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It has been really fucking hard the last 2 years. No question. But that has provided a very solid earth, a very solid core foundation for me that has now become the earth, the composted earth energy, right? And it has made me so wise in life now so that I will show up in my core and appreciate what is well in my life right now. Is my life perfect right now? No. Is everything in order? No, not even close. I'm still like trying to figure out how to make an income, how to provide for myself and my kids. And, I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. Because believe it or not, people think like YouTube and being, however many subscribers you have is like, oh my gosh, you have so much money. No, that's not how, it doesn't directly translate, right? You have to be making income. You have to be doing sessions and work and all that kind of stuff, right? Which makes sense, right? So what I have experienced has created a foundation for me, a root for me that has given me wisdom. That's how it feels to me. So I am uniquely qualified then to be a fantastic energy worker, life coach, psychic, advocate for your spirit, for sure. So that is what I'm feeling in my core, my CO and my R and E. So try that. Do that for yourself and see what kind of messages and information you have. Now, if you're a card person, if you have card decks, what you might want to do is crack out your card deck. And I have a new one here. You might want to crack out one of your favorite card decks. This one is by Linn Doughty, and it's called the Magdalene Rose Oracle. I know Elaine and her work. She's part of Priestess Presence Temple. She has her own temple work, and she does a lot of Divine Feminine, and I have known her for years, like 10 years. And so when she just launched this last week, and it like sold out already, but there's a wait list. So if you want to get it, it's beautiful, beautiful. But you could take your cards. I'm getting to know the decks, so I don't have them all. I'm going through them one by one, pulling a card or two each day. So you could take your cards and you could do 4 cards, and each of the cards, the first 2 that you get are the information or message for your core structure right now. Okay, and then the second 2 are for what has your back and what is supporting you now. You know what I mean? As you move forward. So it's your container. How beautiful is that? These are gorgeous cards, aren't they? Look at that. Again, it's Linn Okay, so it's Linn Doughty. And I'll put this up again here so you can see it. It's kind of hard to read it. It's the Magdalene Rose Oracle. You can get it on Amazon. It's sold out right now, but they'll restock it. So it's intense, though. It's intense. You got to be into the Divine Feminine. It will initiate you. That's for darn sure. Beautiful cards, but all right, my friends. So that is your Sunday morning coffee. Today, our topic has been core. Thanks for humoring me. I'm sharing with you about my experience. I need to get up and go for a walk today, get a little exercise in since I didn't go to boxing this morning. But I also need to go buy some boxing gloves. I'm so buying boxing gloves. Just call me Rocky. Maybe Roxy. Just call me Roxy. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching the replay every week, Sunday Morning Coffee podcast. I appreciate you being here. It's fun to be able to talk to you and connect with you in this casual way. And then on Mondays, I try every Monday, but sometimes Mondays have been, well, I guess it's been pretty good. I've been pretty consistent. It's a little trickier in the summer, but I've been pretty consistent on Mondays. And tomorrow I'm planning to do a live stream. So we will do that. I'm not sure what time yet. I do, of course, know exactly who I'm going to channel. So I'm sure you know that too. So, all right, my friends, thank you so much for being here. I hope I've inspired your spirit today, filled you with some hope, and encouraged you, as always, to live your life. This is your life after all, and you get to live it. Just live it. Thanks for being here. Have a good Sunday.